everybody. Welcome to May. April flowers bring May flowers. So that's what we're doing today is talking about colors and flowers and spring. And how many of you heard of Pantone colors? Do you know about Pantone colors? Well, I'm going to talk about that first, and then we'll proceed and go on with some other things here in the show. But have you girls heard of Pantone colors?
I have.
I can say no.
I definitely have, for sure. That's basically the show. I mean, the way colors are defined pretty much, right?
Yes, I have some information to start off.
Great.
They've been around since 1886. They've been doing this. It's a quality control type thing. Pantone colors are derived from a Pantone matching system, a standardized way to identify specific colors. One major application for the Pantone colors is that they help manufacturers to verify that colors match specifications. So, in other words, peach is peach. It's not hot pink. Otherwise, if you didn't have a quality control, I guess they could call peach hot pink, and you'd be very confused when you ordered your carpet for your home because it would come in hot pink, and that wouldn't be very, very good, right? So professional quality control companies rely on these Pantone colors during their production inspections to make sure that all of the mass-produced goods match all the buyer's requests. Pantone color swatches are the best tool available for inspectors for verifying the color. So if you're using Pantone colors to identify a color, then you should use a fairly new swatch to make sure that you do get accurate results. So this year, the Pantone color of the year is peach. Fuzzy peach, they call it, as a matter of fact. Do you girls like fuzzy peach?
I love peach.
Well, I think it's definitely a seasonal color, and I wouldn't say that it's a color I gravitate to for wearing or putting in my decor, but peaches are delicious in the spring.
Yes, yummy, right? I know.
Right?
Well, I specifically wore peach today. I thought when I heard it was peach for the year, I'm like, ooh, I'm not a peach girl. My skin is peach. So, who wants to have something on that matches their skin too close to their skin? However, I created a video to show you how we can all wear peach. Should we go ahead and watch the video?
Let's watch.
Okay. Hello and welcome to spring, everybody, and the Pantone color of the year. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. It is peach. Fuzzy peach is the color. Now, when I first heard that the color was going to be fuzzy peach for the year, I thought, oh my goodness, it's a warm color. Not everybody can wear it. It's actually not one of my favorite colors because it blends into my peachy skin tone. However, I do want to let you know I did a little bit of research myself into my closet and found that I have a couple peach pieces. And the reason I can wear these peach colors is because they are blended. For example, there's this beautiful peach dress that I have. It's a floral. So the background on it, as you can tell, is peach. However, it has all these other lovely pops of color in it. The lavender and the yellow and the pink. How pretty, right, for springtime? And because it has all these other colors in it, I definitely can wear that. Then I saw that I also have a peach coat. And I thought, oh, that's right. I do have a peach coat and I do wear it because I'm wearing the coat over top of other things. So for example, right now I have navy on, and navy, of course, is the cruise color always in the spring. This is the time of the year where I change everything in my closet out from all of the blacks and I change into my navies because I love navy for the spring. And this is the peach coat. Watch how this works. So peach coat, however, I have navy underneath it. And because I have this navy and it blends very nicely with the peach, I can wear this color. So the moral of the story is, I guess we all probably, most of us anyway, could wear the Pantone color of the year as long as we mix it up with something else. So when you're out there shopping and you want to get a pop of, that peach, fuzzy peach, do go ahead and make sure that you've got something that you can blend it with, or you could wear it with. So maybe you update your wardrobe with maybe just like a peach scarf, and then you could put that with your pretty navy blue. Or you can take your peach coat like I did, and wear it over top of another color. And I suggest navy because I love it with navy. Anyway, just wanted to give you a little update on what's going on in the fashion world right now. And peach is the color, so wear it in good health.
Awesome, Diane. I personally love peach, so I'm kind of excited about it.
Yay!
I'm inspired that you gave me some different ways to do it and not like run out and get like a peach blouse and try to rock that without some sort of color on my face, because that would not look so good.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Diane, for being able to hop on with us this morning. It's always a pleasure to see you. And
I love you girls. I miss you so much.
We miss you too. So we'll see you soon.
Look forward to your next content from the Carolinas.
And we are back with our guest, and I'm so excited today. We have the wonderful Pat Laurie with us today, and we are going to hear so much about her and everything that she's bringing to the world. So I first want to introduce you, Pat, because there are so many wonderful things you have done already in your life. So I just want to share that Pat is an award-winning storyteller. She's the founder of Headline Productions in Guilford, and you have traveled the world telling stories and sharing your wisdom, and you were a former TV reporter, so you were always in front of the camera. And in 2021 you wrote a playbook, and that was about really helping people get really authentic in front of video, in front of the camera. And recently you have this whole new project that we're also excited to hear about later, and that is you're taking your passion of cultivating confidence to high school students in Connecticut. So we are so excited to talk about so many things with you. So welcome to Silver Linings Talk Show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This is really awesome. And I love the title of your show too, Silver Linings, because you can always find the good from something that might have been challenging for you in life. And that's what I talk about a lot when I go to the high schools and talk about cultivating confidence and sort of building yourself up. And it's been really a worthwhile journey.
Well, I think I'd love to lead in the fact that this is our May episode, and May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear kind of how that connects to your thought process when you are out speaking to these young high school students.
Yeah, I think, to me, it's all about mental health awareness, and self-love and self-confidence should be every month, really. Mm-hmm. You should wake up every day and you should feel good about yourself, and you should believe in yourself, and you should be, saying these positive affirmations, because if you don't start out with that good mindset, with that positive mindset, everything starts with you, right? You are the foundation. And so whatever you put inside yourself is super important. And so that's what I've been trying to impart to young people now when I'm going out in the school. So I talk about self-confidence. I talk about being on camera, right? And not feeling confident, because I have a whole story about how, even though I was in the news, I went through a long time where I was not confident. I hid it, I was ashamed, it was an awful time, and finally came out with the story when I wrote the book. But when you can just accept yourself and love yourself, the things that you're able to do, and how you can serve the world and serve and help other people, it's astounding. It has such a trickle-down effect.
Absolutely.
I love how that you're going to students with this. Now, is your messaging to the teens any different than adults? Because I know it took me forever to get to that point, and I'm still working at it. So do you find that bringing it to the teens is like they're a little more open to it? Is there a methodology?
I will say that
behind
my message is it's universal, and
Okay.
it's the same for anybody, whether it's a CEO or a student. It's, you know, you are amazing. You have something wonderful to offer the world. Believe in yourself and believe in your message. And when you can do that, it will change not only your confidence, but it'll change your path in life. Because if you shut yourself down because you're afraid to speak up, for example, like a student in a classroom, they don't want to be seen, even though they're doing TikToks and you know they're firing up a live, right? They might just be showing their face and they might be doing a silly dance, but they don't like to speak because they don't want to be put out there, right? And it's everyone's a judge, you know, everyone is a judge and a jury. And so that's what happens when you put yourself out there. People are going to like you. Some people are not going to like you. You got to just follow the people, you know, just go along your path and forget about the people that don't like you. So, you know, I talk a lot about like the inner coach and the inner critic. So the inner coach will be like, you can do it. The inner critic is like, who do you think you are? I say, flick that inner critic off your shoulder and just believe in you. And this happens literally from student to C-suite. And even when the people have reached these pivotal positions in corporations, they still have that self-doubt and they're still hiding and they're still saying, hold up the bullet points, I just don't trust myself. So that's foundational to who you are as a human being. And I still have to work on this every single day. And every time I come on a TV show or a podcast or something to talk about this, it actually helps me because it's a lifelong journey, self-confidence and self-belief and self-love.
I would love to know what have been some of the responses or some very, maybe an amazing experience that some of the teens have shown, expressed, have had from your discussion and your presentation with them.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of aha moments. And, you know, I've heard from a few kids like, thank you for saying that it's okay to be, you know, to feel sort of like icky, you know, when you do things like that. And thank you for telling us about things like affirmations, you know, looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I am smart, I am confident, I am creative, I am this and that. And then there's been like, Pat, thank you so much for telling your very personal story about how you were at the top and fell down to the bottom, but how you lifted yourself back up again. Those things really resonate, you know.
Can you talk a little about that?
Yeah, so when I was in television, I had a 6-year career, traveled all over the country and was doing live shots all the time. And I had a moment when, you know, in my head, I had this belief that if I didn't make it to New York City by the time I was 30 years old, that I was all washed up, I have to try another career, it's never gonna work, I'm gonna be, you know, that's it. Well, I was on my way to one of the biggest stories of my career, the TWA Flight 800 crash in Long Island. And when I arrived, I saw all of the network reporters there. And suddenly I was like, wait a minute, I don't think I belong here. I'm just like this little person from the 23rd market in the country, and here I am with the big fish and the #1 market. I'm not as good as them. I'm probably not gonna have the same. And all of this self-talk and all this stuff happened, and it manifested itself in the form of a panic attack. And I was like, you know, swallowing and spit out the words. It was really messy, it was sloppy. I mean, in my head, it was really bad, but probably to the audience, it was just like, oh, she's having a bad day. But what I did with that information afterwards, what I told myself was, you can't do this anymore. You got to get out of the business. You are incompetent. You messed up on live TV. You don't belong here. And so what we do to ourselves to break ourselves down, it upsets me so much. And if we can start with that younger generation, and if I can tell that story and say, hey, you might have gotten up in class and you might have done a report and your legs might have been trembling and you might have felt like really scared and you might have flubbed up a little bit and you might have been shaking in your boots, but it's okay. Little practice, you'll get through it. And they're not doing that. A lot of schools are not doing this. It's what we're finding. And so that piece is so important, the self-confidence and self-belief and self-expression.
Yeah.
So I think the students really appreciate that. And they also appreciate the fact that we're going around and it's not just, we're not talking for like an hour, 2 students. It's an interactive session. They're picking questions out of the hat. They're getting up in front of their students, fellow students, and they're able to answer questions, and everyone's getting a turn, and we're talking openly about the emotions that come up when you speak in public, and so, which kind of leads me to this campaign that we're doing right now, which is like, I'm sharing my heart with people and my soul, because I feel like if I'm not authentic, it's going to fall on deaf ears. I'm not trying to be anybody else. I'm just trying to tell my story. I'm just trying to be real.
Now, could you tell us a little bit more? Is that the pocket heart movement?
Yes.
I want to hear a little bit about that.
All right, so these are the hearts, and you'll notice we'll have a bowl of hearts right there on the coffee table. And I started this campaign because I thought, after I speak to anybody and tell them my story, what happens is pretty incredible. People start opening up and start telling me their stories. So I said, I need to give everybody this heart. Believe in yourself. Hold this in your hand. Put it in your pocket. Put it by your bedside table. And if you have self-doubt, you look at that heart. You put all that positive energy into that heart and believe in yourself. And if you're having a tough day, or if you have to do something where you need extra confidence, you put that heart in your pocket and know that I believe in you and you should believe in yourself. And it's just an empowering little tool. So I give these hearts out every time I speak publicly, and just to see the expressions on everyone's face, to be able to get something so little, right? Just a little, small, little beautiful item to remind you of how wonderful you are. It's a good feeling.
I can also see just the energy and the experience from the presentation, from the moment, from you providing the space for people to even feel like they could open up. Every time they see that heart in their bedroom, every time they see that heart, that is all that feeling and emotion, and those messages come back. And that's where the power is in that little heart.
And hearts are known
awesome.
to be, you can't fill them. Like they have an endless supply of space. Right?
Oh, I love that.
So if we refer to it that way, then they're always going to be able to put more into it.
And I tell people to listen to what makes your heart beat faster.
Oh, I love
Listen
that
to
too.
what lights you up, because that's the direction, and that should be your focus. Not what tears you down, but what truly lights you up. If you have a goal in life that you want to go after, remember what's in your heart. And it's powerful, and it will help people. And the reason also why I do this is because I got out of the TV business after that, right? And even though I have a video production company and it afforded me, chances to travel all over the world, and it's been wonderful. I don't regret it at all. But it did take me out of my dream of being a network reporter and being in the network news. So I, for a long time, was like, why is this happening? And I would ask God, why is this happening? Why is this happening? What did I do to deserve this? And now I realize that it is because I was meant to have this mission of telling that very vulnerable story to help other people.
Right, and you're also focused on some other things that you're connected with. It's not just this pocket heart movement. There's a loneliness crisis out there and a social connection campaign.
That's right. So the state just started a social connection campaign because there is an epidemic of loneliness and depression. And so we cannot make this a taboo word. I just last week got up in front of 80 women and told them, what, I suffer from loneliness greatly, empty nester, right? I'm trying to redefine who I am, but I'm not ashamed about it. And the more I can talk about this, the more normalized this language can be, because I know, even though I have a lot of friends and acquaintances, that they suffer from it too.
Right.
I mean, we're all human, right?
And I think there's a stigma behind being alone versus being lonely. And I think some people don't understand and can often confuse being busy with not being lonely, right? Can you speak a little
that still
to
doesn't keep you fulfilled.
Right. Can you speak a little to what you see in that with people who talk to you about these things?
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of people want to fill all the boxes up, fill all the hours up in the day, right? Be busy, busy, busy. But you need to have time for yourself. You need to have self-reflection time, journaling time to go for walks by yourself and really think about who you are and what you want and what, the things that you want to aspire to and the things that make you grateful about life. And and it's not just about being with people 24/7. It's that alone time, because in those alone moments, but let's not call them alone moments, right? These are wonderful moments of self-realization,
and self-love.
And self-love,
right?
I mean,
It comes
I tell
back
you,
to
one of my favorite things to do is to literally look out of my office window at the birds. I look forward to feeding them every day, and I welcome them in, and it's like just noticing the beautiful things that this life, our life, this planet, we have to look forward to. Simple, simple, simple things that have nothing to do with the phone, nothing to do with being on video, but just have everything to do with just being a human.
And is this certainly part of your conversation with the teens and certainly some adults, but I think that this is seen definitely with teenagers, is this belief that if I go on all these social media platforms and I'm liking things, that I'm connecting with people, versus the reality is, in my physical state of being in life, I'm not really connecting with anybody, and I'm feeling lonely even when I think I'm connecting with people.
Absolutely. And I have a lot of young people in my life, and a lot of the kids that are involved with video gaming and all that, right? And they do have, friends that they talk to on the headsets and all that. These are virtual friends, but these are not necessarily friends that they would see in person and do things with, right, which is very different. And it's perfectly fine to have online friends, because I have a lot of online friends, in fact, and you can really cultivate. I think adults are better at this, cultivating really deep relationships with people that we've never actually met in person. But when it comes to high school kids, they need that, camaraderie. They need that small group interaction, and they need to be able to carry on the art of conversation, which is completely lost on young people. And so, don't even get me started about that, because it's just, that's another passion of mine, really, is to just like put down the phones and let's start talking, because the nuances of conversation are getting lost. And my fear is with the, rise of AI and everything, it's just, we're just going to become, these shells of who we used to be. And so, my thing is like authentic interaction instead of, artificial intelligence. I go with authentic intelligence any day of the week.
Now, when you initially started talking about the social connection campaign, does that really kind of cover that as well? Kind of getting away from connecting on technology?
I will say that I would say that I would hope that it would, right?
Okay.
I would hope that it would incorporate everything from getting away from tech to being able to speak your feelings, to being able to, connect with other people and have friendships, and also just talk about it, bring it to the surface so it's normalized. Because to me, that would be a cohesive program that really, and then maybe like getting back to basics and back to nature, right? And back to the good old days of like camp and camaraderie and companionship and
So the Social Connections campaign is new and still in development.
This is a state campaign, and I don't work on, full disclosure, I don't work on the campaign, but I know that this is a brand new campaign with Lieutenant Governor Bysowitz, right? And Chris Murphy, Senator. And so I think they're just kicking it off. And I mean, I think they're probably looking for all of us to be included in this conversation, because it's so important. It's not going to take, one committee to do everything. We all have to gather together, and we all have to be that marching force that can sort of like this heart campaign, right? Spread love and spread our brilliance and our knowledge and our hearts.
And support it as well. I mean, it's going to need support. It's going to need, word of mouth. People need to know it's out there.
So I hope that corporations are getting involved, and I hope that small companies are getting involved, and I hope that, special interest groups are getting involved, because it takes everybody
Absolutely.
to help our children and to help our adults too. There's plenty of adults that are suffering from loneliness.
Absolutely. And, I'm sure it has been such a privilege for the schools to have you come in. And you said that you have talked in front of several schools with 400 and 500 students. Imagine that impact, that, like you said, that trickle-down effect as they're talking with their friends, who may talk to their cousins of another school, who may talk to a friend in another school. what you're doing is a wonderful, wonderful thing to really start to help young people develop who they are, because they're still developing and trying to figure it out.
I'm still developing.
And we're always evolving.
That's
We're
actually
always
a
evolving.
really good thing that we are.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, we
because
never stop developing, because when you do,
Right.
you know, that's
we don't
the
want
end
to
of the
become
line for you.
we don't want to become stagnant.
No.
So
Right.
speaking of developing, I see this beautiful yellow book on the table.
Oh.
Maybe it's time to kind of bring up
Yeah,
what
tell us
that is all about.
your book.
Yeah, so I wrote this book, Be Authentic on Video. Actually, it was Be Perfect, and I crossed out the perfect because it is not about being perfect. It's really just about being authentic. And so it's an 18 tip book, and it's interactive and has all these exercises in it. And it really just like goes through the very basics, starting with mindset, and then it goes through a bunch of tactical exercises as well. And then, you know, it talks to get your little accountability team going, because you're not going to be doing this in a vacuum, right? You got to actually start. So this is great for even being on video or even public speaking in front of people. So these tools and tips will help you sort of realize that what people want to see when you show up. Now, I'm a trained professional. I've been in news. I'm a presenter, a public speaker. So, you know, I have to remind myself to unprofessionalize myself. But really, like, I hope what you're seeing right now is my true heart, because to be able to speak candidly about any of this, you know, it's taken a long time. But what do people really want to see? They just really want to see your heart. They want to feel your heart. They want to see that you're a real person and not just spewing out words that someone else fed you to talk about.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, and that's a great message for everyone, especially children, because there seems to always be that mindset of fitting in, not standing out, when I think the message needs to be standing out, not fitting in.
Oh,
Right? Because
absolutely.
Because you know, when we show our authentic self, then everybody is truly on this earth to be an original self. So that message on being authentic rather than perfect, I mean, who are we really trying to be? So,
well, don't forget, you know, when we were growing up, right,
Yes.
all of the role models and all of the, you know, editing in the magazines, and everybody had that image of we have to be perfect. I mean, it's probably much worse now, but we didn't talk about this back in the day.
No.
So the only role models we had were like the perfect announcer and the this and that, because everyone was polished. There was no room for, you know, until like the talk show hosts started, you know, coming up, and the Jesse Raphaels and the Oprah Winfrey's, and that really that authenticity sort of kicked in. Oh wait, that's okay to be like that, you know, to be yourself.
Yes. I would like to pull up your book. We have a photo of your book, because I really would love for people to be able to see the cover, because there's a lot of great wisdom in the book. So if we can pull that up.
There
And
it is.
I'd like to keep it up as we look at any final words of wisdom, because we are down to our last minute.
Oh my goodness, I know. Sometimes I get so passionate about this, because it really is so important just to love yourself, believe in yourself. And here's the thing, if you want to get better at public speaking, or just, you know, coming into your own as a human being, you've got to take chances. You've got to take that one uncomfortable action. You've got to actually do things that make you feel a little icky, because you're not going to grow if you don't do it. So that's my final thought, is start the journey today.
Awesome.
love that, because
Yes.
now you're handing out hearts and making strides to helping people become better for themselves, and that's awesome.
And how can someone connect with you? They've heard something, they're like, I want to something resonates. How can they reach out to you?
Oh yes, well, they can go to headlineproductions.com and reach me that way. And while they're there, they can see some incredible stories of impact that I have produced over the years.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Pat.
Thank you so much for being here.
And many
having
silver
here.
linings you're creating.
Oh, thank you so much, ladies. It's awesome.
Thank you.